Okay, so this article came out yesterday, but I didn't have time to get to it last night. But it piqued my interest because this is weird. So, a mega candidate hit with backlash over Epstein property ties. So, this dude running for like comptroller in Texas, I believe, he he was the person who bought the New Mexico ranch that Jeffrey Epstein owned. The New Mexico ranch that was never searched. They never executed a search warrant on this property. It just sat there in limbo for a few years, and then it was bought by somebody we didn't know who it was before. And now it's coming out that it was this mega candidate for comptroller and tech. Like, what the fuck? So let's get into this fucking article because this makes no fuck like. I mean, it makes perfect sense, but it makes in the grand like what I've been wondering about this fucking ranch for what like now like 7 or 8 years, and we have had little to no answers on it. And what we have gotten out of it, what we have, the answers that we have gotten have all shown us that he was basically running like a, I don't know, a breeding ranch for babies for God knows what. Also, doesn't publicly have any children that we know about. So, where were these kids going and why and for what? And anyways, uh, let's just get into it because I don't. It's crazy. So, mega candidate hit with backlash over Epstein property ties. A pro-Trump millionaire running for office in Texas has been hit with criticism after it was revealed he owns one of Epstein's most notorious properties. Why? Who would want that? Who would want that? Not only is it okay, not only is it weird that he's running for office, he's pro-Trump, millionaire, whatever, blah 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 blah. Also, where the fuck did this motherfucker come from? But like, who the fuck would want to fucking move into the Epstein's ranch? That's worse than moving into like a place where a bunch of murders happened. This is like, uh, uh, the victims are still alive. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what do we? The depraved fucking shit that happened in this fucking mansion. You wanted to buy it for what and why? What would possess you to do that? Also, why the fuck was this place never fucking searched? All of these fucking files that we've seen that have been released by the DOJ, by the FBI, showing that he was trying to run like a baby breeding ranch. I know I already said that, but like I don't know what else to call it. It it, it it's so weird. Was he selling babies also? Like I don't get it. It So businessman Don Huffines, whoever the fuck that dude is, a fucking creepy weirdo, a pro-Trump millionaire who is running for office in Texas, is facing criticism after it was revealed he bought a sprawling New Mexico ranch that once belonged to Jeffrey Epstein. Why? 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 What would be the reason for that? Like, it's like when you start watching like a horror movie and you're like, why the fuck would you move into this haunted mansion, you dumb bitch? This is what pedo the pedo ranch, the pedo breeding ranch, what the international sex trafficking pedophile who raped young girls. You want to buy his property where he raped young girls. we didn't know much about the breeding ranch part aspect, but we knew that abuse went on here. We knew that since the beginning. Like every victim who was spoken out pretty much has spoken about that they've been there once or twice or a lot. So I don't know what the fuck this is. Records obtained by the Santa Fe New Mexican last week found that Huffine 67 purchased Epstein's infamous Zorro Ranch in Santa Fe County years after the sexual predator's death. Why? The 26,700 square foot hilltop mansion was valued at $27.5 million. Almost $30 million to buy the pedo ranch? The rape ranch? The molestation mansion? What are we doing? Why? Why would you want that? Also, what happened to everything that was in? Why do we not have any pictures of inside that mansion, like that ranch? Why did they never execute a search warrant? Why what was everything in it seized? Did he buy it as is? What is this? Why does he have evidence now? What, couldn't we have a ton of videos and pictures of the inside of that ranch like we do the brownstone in New York and the island? What the fuck? Especially with all the fucking evidence that shows that he was trying to fucking run I don't know what to call it. What the fuck? What the fuck? Valued at $27.5 million when it was first listed for sale in July 2021, 2 years after Epstein died via suicide while being held at a New York correctional facility. The property was purchased through San Rafael Ranch, LLC, a company tied to Huffines and his family. So you didn't even put your name on it. You had to put it through your LLC. What? What? Why wouldn't you just buy it's a residential mansion? Why wouldn't you just buy it with your own money? Were you going to make it into an Airbnb? What are we doing? Why? What? Huffines campaign spokesperson Alan Blakemore said in a statement that the Huffines family purchased property in New Mexico listed at public auction whose proceeds benefited his victims. Prior to the auction listing, they had never visited the property. Huh? What the fuck are you talking about? What? What? Social media users, including Texas voters, have taken note. Good. Because what the hell? Also, what the fuck is that thing? I forgot about that thing. Oh, yeah. He was such a fucking weirdo. Jeffrey Epstein was. One self-described Texas Republican primary voter wrote, "Why did you buy Epstein's ranch? Will you open it to investigators? You must loudly and clearly answer these questions now." And I agree. Because, what the fuck? It would be weird that a private citizen bought this. But now you're a pro-MAGA candidate running for office in Texas? That's bullshit, dude. What? Who are you? And why? Why would you do this? Explain yourself, please. I would love to know. Can you let the police in? Well, don't let the FBI in. Jesus Christ. What? All I can think of right now is that John F. Kennedy clip of him where it's he's saying, if you don't like the police, call a crackhead. What do you do when the police are crackhead? The FBI is run by a crackhead. That's what I would classify Cash Patel as. Cuckoo Cachoo, Cockeyed Cash, Keystone Cash. What are we doing? For someone who calls himself a Christian, maybe you'd like to explain how your name appears in the Epstein files and how you became the new owner of Epstein's pedo Zorro Ranch. Step down. You are pathetic, another wrote. Period. Delegate to the 2024 Republican National Convention, Trisha Hope wrote, "I wish someone there had the courage to ask you about your New Mexico ranch. You need to be forthcoming about why you purchased it." Ooh. This is mega on mega crime. Okay. What you plan to do with it, and if you will allow it to be properly searched, as the Epstein files indicate there are possible bodies of children buried there. Who the fuck would buy this? Who would buy this? You could have made a private donation to the victims. You didn't need to buy this. And also, I feel like that's such a fucking, like, like, fuck you. You're weird. No. Like, bitch, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's fucking raining. That. If you can't be honest and answer questions about Zorro's ranch, how can we have trust in you? One user asked. Huffines, a former state legislator running for Texas comptroller, has described himself as a courageous MAGA Republican. Yep. Seeking to Doge, Texas. Okay. Because Texas famously has a great, like, social safety net. They spent way too much on improving their alarm systems for floods. They spent way too much doing that. Oh, wait, they didn't. Over 100 people died. Right. He has touted endorsements from several notable right-wing personalities, including, oh my God, that's not a good thing, including Senator Ted Cruz. I don't even think his constituents like him. They just keep on choosing him because he's not the Democrat. Like, who fucking likes him? Nobody. I don't know anybody that likes him. Riley Gaines? Oh my God. Oh my God. The two worst fucking people? Jesus. And the late Charlie Kirk. Oh my God. Three of the worst people on the, like, oh my God. And you're friends with Epstein? Like, you're a piece of Matt Gaetz? Ugh. Matt Gaetz? Okay, wait. After the revelation about his property ownership emerged, he received another. After the revelation? After the revelation? After the revelation about his property ownership emerged, he received another endorsement, this time from scandal-ridden former Congressman Matt Gaetz. Gaetz, who was investigated for alleged sexual misconduct, offered his support for Huffines. With a 17-year-old, by the way. Right? Yeah, 17-year-old. 17-year-old. Congressional investigators found evidence that former Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida regularly paid women for sex, had sex with a 17-year-old, breaking Florida's statutory rape laws, and frequently used illegal drugs, among other violations of house ethics rules. That's fucked, dude. The hell? This dude, of course, he would endorse this motherfucker after the revelation came out that he owns the pedo ranch. This is the dude that fucking was on the news and, like, on Fox News, and they were talking about the allegations at the time when they were just allegations, and the Fox News reporter was like young girl, and Matt Gaetz said woman, and the Fox News reporter was like, and if you can make a Fox News reporter stumble up like that, you're a freak. Like, you're a fucking freak. Anyways, fuck Matt Gaetz. How the fuck? Why the fuck? Like, shouldn't, like, people like this need to understand that their endorsement is a bad thing. You, you don't, no. Like, I wouldn't, if, if Matt Gaetz endorsed me, I would ask him to take it down. I'd be like, holy fuck, I've really gone wrong in my life. Don Huffines is a champion for the vulnerable. He's one of the, God, girl, what the hell? What would you know about championing the vulnerable, bitch? You raped the vulnerable. You raped a girl who was looking for money to pay for her braces. Don't fucking talk about vulnerable people. You piece of fucking shit, pedophile, rapist, asshole, motherfucking ugly piece of fucking shit. Jesus fuck. Everything Don has done in this matter was to bet. What? He could have invited the press in to that place. He could have invited the everybody in. I don't know why the FBI didn't fucking search it and turn that bitch upside fucking down. But no, he has not done everything to benefit the victims. Fuck that. He never had anything to do with Epstein. Lie. Don Huffines will win his election and do great things for Texas. Also, I don't think that's true. What? Epstein originally purchased the Zorro Ranch from former New Mexico Governor Bruce King in 1993. Over the years, it became the site of some of the most disturbing details related to Epstein. Exactly, so why the fuck would you want to buy it? A 2019 report from the New York Times found that Epstein told scientists he wanted to spread his DNA across the entire human race via impregnating women at the ranch. Numerous survivors of Epstein have also said they were abused at the ranch, including Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who died via suicide, allegedly, in April 2025. One victim said she was just 14 when Epstein abused her at the property. So, I mean, tell me what you think. Like, what the fuck, dude? It's weird as fuck that anybody purchased it. It's triply fucking weird that this motherfucker is a pro-MAGA candidate running for office in Texas and has the endorsement of Ted Cruz, Riley Gaines, and Matt Gaetz. Ugh. Gag me with a spoon. Ooh. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. It's weird as fuck. All this shit is weird as fuck. Also, I want to know what the fuck is in there. I want to see. I want videos. I want photos. I want to know what they found there. Like, what the fuck? From what we've been told, there was no search warrant executed there. Why? What the fuck is going on? And why the fuck did this man buy? I have so many fucking questions, and everything that gets revealed just makes me have more questions. Nothing is a satisfiable answer to anything. Like, every time you get an answer, it's just more questions. This is so fucked. The world is being run by an elite cabal of pedophiles, and we just have to go to work like it's normal and shit. Like, okay, right. Anyway, okay, so it looks like the US is ramping up to go to war against Iran. This comes after Benjamin Netanyahu was here in DC this past week, and was making his case for striking against Iran. Previously, Trump was ramping up to strike Iran, but Israel had to call the U.S. and be like, "Hey, no, 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 we're not ready for that. Like, we need more help. We need like backup in the region." So, past couple weeks, Trump has been sending the Pentagon, Trump, the military has been sending Navy ships, battleships to Iran. And so it's exactly what, like, they're, it's exactly the same thing that happened with Venezuela. So it looks like an attack is imminent, and it's just like a matter of time now. It's absolutely fucking insane. This is the second time that there will be an attack on Iran this this term from Trump. The first one was in the Iran-Israel war this year in June, also called the 12-Day War, and in which the United States intercepted Iranian attacks and bombed 3 Iranian nuclear sites on the 22nd of June, and then Iran retaliated. So, like, this is a man who ran on being the peace president. I'd like to make that clear. He has kidnapped Maduro, like, tried to do a regime change without even actually changing the regime, bombed Caracas in doing that. So he bombed Venezuela, he bombed Syria, he bombed Iran here, he bombed Nigeria, he bombed Somalia, he bombed Yemen, he bombed boats from Colombia, Venezuela, Trinidad, and Tobago. He's threatened Panama, Canada, Greenland, about to go to war with Iran. The peace president. No new wars. Begging for the Nobel Peace Prize. Bitch, what the fuck? Like, are you on crack? Like, this is insane. And all of this is because Israel is being such a fucking bitch, and Trump and the Trump regime has no problem just cucking themselves to whatever the fuck Israel fucking wants. And it's so fucking annoying. So they want Iran to not only stop all production of nuclear weapons, but they also want them to disarm any ballistic missiles that can reach Israel. And why the fuck? So, like, not only can you not have nukes, which is your only reassurance against invasion getting intact in this, like, in the 21st century, really. So what are you supposed to do? No missiles either? You don't want us to be able to protect ourselves at all. You don't want us to be able to protect ourselves from anything. Not only just you who bomb us all the time, but anybody else in the fucking region. And listen, I don't fucking like the leadership in Iran. I don't. But at the same time, what is this going to fucking solve? What did it solve in Iraq? What did it solve in Afghanistan? Like, how many regimes are you going to topple? Did it work well for you? Like, how many? My God. So now the White House is saying that Trump wants diplomacy with Iran, as U.S. reportedly it could be ready for a military attack. Why? Like, the only reason to do this is because you are doing Israel's bidding. So you're, like, about to go to war for Israel. Does that make any fucking sense to anybody? Like, I would, like, does that, it, what? So the White House says diplomacy is always a top option for Trump on Iran. Is it? Are you sure? Because you already bombed them once this term. When asked about the possibility of U.S. strikes on Iran, Leavitt said that the Trump administration totally obliterated Iran's nuclear facilities. That's not even true, and has been clear that diplomacy is always the president's first option. It it's not diplomacy when you are the only one who gets to set the terms. Like, that's dictatorship. You are dictating what they get to do or not. If you do not submit to us and our terms to make yourself a sitting duck, then we are going to bomb you and invade you, try to do a regime change. Countless people are going to die. Like, does that sound like diplomacy to you? What do we talk like? Huh? Iran would be very wise to make a deal with President Trump. Levitt added to it. You condescending cunt. The fuck? Like, uh, this. Listen, like, whether or not Iran is a repressive regime or not is not really. It's none of your fucking business. As an American, if you want to go change things in Iran, go to Iran and advocate. If you really want to do that, or try and do protests here, there's no way that a regime change and military action will be beneficial for anybody. People are going to die. Millions of dollars are going to be wasted. For what? For what? Like, seriously, like, there's not even oil this time. Like, what do we. She also noted that while there was a little bit of progress following Tuesday's talks in Geneva between the US and Iran, we're still very far apart on some issues. Yeah, because they're willing to, not getting nukes in this current political climate, global, like with geopolitics, how everything is working out right now across the globe. I just don't understand. I don't. I just feel like not having nukes is just a clear path to not having sovereignty at this point. Because what is. Look at Kim Jong Un. The worst fucking human rights violations in the world have happened in North Korea. Not as there's it's not as widespread and terrible as people conspire about it, but it is very bad. And guess what? Doesn't get invaded ever because he has nukes. So not having nukes is a big deal. And the fact that they're trying to get nukes and it's like such a such an issue, like such an issue to the Trump regime, the regime in Israel, and everybody. Like in the talk so far, from what I have seen, they are willing to not continue with production of nuclear weapons, but that's not enough for the Trump regime or Israel. They want them to also disarm the ballistic missiles, like I said. So you're already asking for a lot. Then you're going like you're overstepping the bounds and asking for even more, which is like so insane. Levitt did not answer a question about an exact deadline that Donald Trump would give Iran to achieve a deal before engaging in military action. So U.S. military could be ready to attack Iran this weekend, which is like, what the fuck are we doing? As Donald Trump reportedly waged an attack on Iran, the United States military told the president it could be ready to begin strikes as soon as Saturday, CBS News reports. CBS News, citing unnamed sources. Reuters, citing an unnamed senior U.S. official, offered a slightly different timeline, reporting that top U.S. national security advisors were told during a meeting in the White House Situation Room on Wednesday that all U.S. military forces deployed to the region should be in place by mid-March. So insane. Iran is expected to submit a written proposal on how to resolve its standoff with the United States in the wake of the U.S.-Iran talks in Geneva on Tuesday. According to the Israeli reporter Barak Ravid, Israeli. Trump also met on Wednesday with the two advisors leading indirect talks with Iran. Oh my God. Jesus fuck. A real estate developer a real estate developer turned envoy. And Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, just his son-in-law, does not have a cabinet position. No. USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier group and its flotilla of warships is already in the region. So they're priming up and ready to go. Like, this is exactly what happened with Venezuela. This is how they ramped up in order to do that, in order to kidnap Maduro in the middle of the fucking night. Like, the fuck? And fucking, like, fuck Jared Kushner. He looks like an evil elf or something, like, weird. Like, some fucking, I hate him. He's so fucked. Corrupt ass motherfucker. He has no business doing all this foreign policy talks, and he's been doing it for the past couple months, and, like, there's little to no pushback. Have you seen any Democrats talking, like, what the fuck? And a second carrier group, Jesus Christ, the USS Gerald Ford, is en route to the Middle East. Damn. As of Wednesday, the Ford was off the coast of West Africa, according to the maritime vessel tracking data and open source researchers. On Israeli television, Ravid reported that U.S. sources told him the talks in Geneva with Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araki, were a nothing burger. And the Pentagon is preparing for a joint Israeli-U.S. offensive that could last weeks. Jesus fuck. Yeah, just like the retaliation to October 7th just lasted a few weeks, which was already like an insane retaliation anyways. But like, what are we? This is Israel and the U.S. America is literally like people who coined the term forever war. Like, according to reviewed sources, Iran only has until the end of February to offer concessions on its nuclear program. Jesus fuck. So, White House says Iran would be wise to take a deal amid military buildup. That's a quote from Caroline Leavitt. White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt has said that Iran would be wise to make a deal as the United States surges further military assets to the Middle East. This is so fuck. I feel like we're like going into a recession, wars in the Middle East. I feel like I'm 8 years old again, like, or like 5, and that's not a laughing matter, but it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Her statement came out as part of a series of veiled threats from officials under U.S. President Donald Trump, a day after U.S. and Iranian representatives held a second round of indirect talks this month. This is so stupid. Like, I don't even have any words for this. It's so dumb. Like, this does not need to happen. Like, what? Also, Obama had a nuclear deal with Iran, and then Trump ripped it up in his first term, and then Joe Biden didn't do anything to fucking fix it, and then now we're here, and like, the initial nuclear deal was fine. You created this problem. So many problems that Trump has, he has created in some way himself. And then he'll look to the crowd and say, look what I did. I fixed this big problem. And it's like, bitch, you made the problem. There was no problem until you came. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, ugh. The two sides appeared to offer differing accounts of the talks. Iranian officials said both parties had agreed on guiding principles, but U.S. VP J.D. Vance said Iran had yet to respond to all of Washington's red lines. Because you're unreasonable as fuck. I wonder why. Like, even they should, if they're a sovereign nation, they should be allowed to have nukes. Honestly, like, what is the? Why do you feel like it's your job to make sure that nobody has nuclear weapons when you have nuclear weapons, the weapon that you created. Huh? The weapon that has only been used by you. I'm so tired of you dictating the world. Like, what? During a news conference on Wednesday, Levitt articulated the Trump administration's position that Iran needs to accede to U.S. demands. Iran would be very wise to make a deal with President Trump and his administration, she told reporters. Fuck it. Like, fuck her. Trump, who has repeatedly threatened Iran with military action in response to his crackdown on protests last month, also referenced a possible escalation in a post on Truth Social on Wednesday. Is this like do we like get marching orders from fucking Twitter now and Truth Social and like what? The post warned Prime Minister Keir Starmer, what the fuck, of the UK against a deal agreed to last year that would see London cede control of the Chagos Islands, strategically located in the center of the Indian Ocean. The deal nevertheless allows the UK and the US to continue to lease and operate a joint airbase on the largest island, Diego Garcia. Should Iran decide not to make a deal, it may be necessary for the US to use Diego Garcia and the airfield located in Fairford in order to eradicate a potential attack by a highly unstable and dangerous regime. Look in the mirror, ho. Like, what are you talking about? You are highly unstable. And you are a dangerous regime. The fuck? You're murdering people on the street. Also, the sanctimonious like, you can't crack down on protesters while we shoot them in the face. Huh. Does that make any fucking sense to anybody? Like, obviously, I don't fucking think, I'm not advocating for the crackdown on protesters. I'm advocating for no crackdown on no protesters across the board. It's the rules for thee, not for me, that makes me so fucking angry. You hypocritical fat ass, Donald Trump. Fuck you. An attack that would be potentially made on the United Kingdom as well as other friendly countries. He is always like indirectly threatening so many different people with like hallucinated actions that like nobody has said we're gonna have. Like, what are you talking about? Meanwhile, speaking from the sidelines of an International Energy Agency meeting in Paris, U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright warned that Washington would deter Tehran from acquiring nuclear weapons one way or the other. Jesus fucking Christ. Really fucking like mob boss? The fuck? They've been very clear about what they would do with nuclear weapons. It's entirely unacceptable. What they want to do with nuclear weapons is protect themselves. Because you keep on fucking attacking them. Like, for his part, the Iranian president said on Wednesday that the country did not want war, but would not give in to the U.S. demands. Girl, from the day I took office, I believe that war must be set aside. But if they are going to try and impose their will on us, humiliate us, and demand that we bow our heads at any cost, should we accept that? He asked. I wouldn't, like, but also, I don't, at this point, it's like, girl, I don't know. I wouldn't want to fucking accept it. I wouldn't want my government to fucking accept that. But at this point in time, I'm like wondering, how far are they willing to go? How far is either side willing to go? This is just stressing me the fuck out. Pezeshkian spoke shortly after Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps launched exercises on Monday in the Strait of Hormuz in a show of military might. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has previously warned that any new U.S. strikes would lead to wider regional escalation. And he's been going off on Twitter. Like, he's been talking about. Listen, I'll pull it up in a second because I don't want to misquote him. Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a statement on Wednesday that its top diplomat Abbas Araki had spoken by phone with the head of the United Nations nuclear watchdog Rafael Grossi. Grossi stressed the Islamic Republic of Iran's focus on drafting an initial and coherent framework to advance future talks on its nuclear program, according to the statement. Trump withdrew from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which saw Iran curtail its nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief during his first term in 2018. That was the deal that I was talking about earlier, that he tore up. In the years since, he has imposed a maximum pressure campaign that includes new sanctions. And, by the way, like I said, Biden did nothing to fix this, because I really think he's an Islamophobe, like, hates them. He's a genocidal maniac. Efforts to strike a new nuclear deal have repeatedly stalled since Trump's first term. Iran has called for the latest round of talks to focus solely on its nuclear program, which it maintains is only used for civilian purposes. It has also indicated that it is willing to make concessions in exchange for lifting of sanctions. Which is like, they should not have fucking sanctions on them to begin with. Like, this is fucking insane. Washington has pushed for wider demands that are considered non-starters for Iran, including limits on its ballistic missile program, although its demands during the latest round of talks were not immediately clear. Like, that's because fucking Israel is like, hey yo, can you please get them to disarm their missiles that could reach us? No. Israel's MO is constantly like, let's make this deal and then immediately fucking break it. They've broken the Gaza ceasefire like over 2,000 times at this point. What are we doing? They've murdered thousands of people since then. They've made how many fucking deals with Lebanon, Palestine, this country, that country? How many deals have they made with fucking Palestine? Like, this is insane. They always fucking break whatever fucking peace talks or deals there are. Like, why the fuck would they allow themselves to be a sitting fucking duck? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, I'm gonna fucking pull up Khamenei. Okay, so here's his fucking Twitter. And this is one of the ones I fucking saw that I was like, what are you waiting for then? The island of corruption is only one example. Clearly he means Pedo Island, Little St. James, Jeffrey fucking Epstein's island, is only one example. There is much more of this. Huh? Just as this was not apparent and then became exposed, there are many other things that will soon come to light. Release the files. Like, release the files, dude. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, come on, please, do it. Like, I don't even like this bitch. I hate him. And it's just like, everything, like, so everything that we have ever heard about their corruption is one thing. This affair of that morally corrupt island is another altogether. These are indicative of what Western civilization and liberal democracy are. Okay, bro. Okay. They proceeded for 200, 300 years, and this is the ultimate outcome. Really? You want to talk about all the people in the Middle East that had fucking sex slaves? That the United States government was working with? In the war in Afghanistan and Iraq? Sex slaves that were children? You want to talk about that? Because that wasn't democracy. They had sex slaves chained up. And so did the white people too. So did Western civilization. But like, you ain't a prize, bitch. Like, you are not free from nothing. Nobody is. This is an elite issue. This is people with power and people without it. That is the issue here. It is not white, brown, black. It is none of those things. It is powerful and powerless. That dynamic was exploited. That is the issue. The fuck, you fucking freak. The Americans say let's negotiate over your nuclear energy, and the result of negotiation is supposed to be that you do not have this energy. Well, that's true. Honestly, that was another thing that they don't want. They don't. It's not that they only want them to disarm their or stop producing nuclear weapons. They want them to like basically get rid of their nuclear power plants that are powering the country. It's like you were just insane. If that's the case, there's no room for negotiation. But if negotiations are truly to take place, determining the outcome of the negotiations in advance is a wrong and foolish act. What? He said negotiations 7 times. Jesus Christ! Look, this is all from yesterday. He was going off. The fact that nuclear energy is our undeniable right, and it also has been included in the guidelines of International Atomic Energy Agency, that is, all countries have the right to own nuclear and enrichment installations. This is among a nation's rights. Why does the US interfere? Peaceful nuclear industry is not for war. It is for running the country, for agriculture, for treatment and healthcare, and for everything that depends on energy. This is among the nation's rights. What does it have to do with you Americans? Jesus Christ, he's just going off. A sign of the decline of the corrupt, oppressive U.S. empire is its irrationality, such as interfering in our country's internal affairs. They say, limit your missiles to this range. What's that to do with you? Without deterrent weaponry, a country will be crushed by the enemy. In between some misguided statements, there are some points that are true here. And I hate this bitch. Like, I'm not trying to defend him, but like at the same time, just because I don't like him does not mean I feel his country deserves to be bombed or go to war. Like, that is not how I feel it should work. I feel that is very, very wrong, especially with how history has gone and how we know these things go. Like, this is so stupid. The US president has said that for 47 years, the United States has been able to eliminate the Islamic Republic. That is a good confession, I say. You too will not be able to do this. Longer than 40 fucking 7 years. What was it, like fucking Iran in the 50s? Yeah, 50s. Wasn't it? The Americans constantly say that they've been sent a warship toward Iran. Of course, a warship is a dangerous piece of military hardware. However, more dangerous than that warship is a weapon that can send that warship to the bottom of the sea. Okay. The US president keeps saying that they have the strongest military force in the world. The strongest military force in the world may at times be struck so hard that it cannot get up again. Jesus, he's like crazy. All right, so this is back to normal. Like, these are all from those were all from yesterday. Like, dude was going off. It's crazy. Also throwing out some threats. Like, this is just I at the same time that I'm like, he is correct in his points. How about shut up for a minute, bitch? Here I am trying to fight against you getting bombed, your countrymen getting bombed, your citizens getting bombed, and here you are fucking threatening them and fucking like calling their fucking bluff and shit. Like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up for a minute, please. Like, go fucking do the peace talk. Like, go to try and do the deals. Why are you talking about what? I mean, it is smart to do the Epstein stuff. That was smart because that hit them where it hurts. But why are you threatening the fuck like with military? Like, shut the fuck up for a minute, bitch. Jesus fuck. Anyways, this is also fucking stupid. Iran has a right to nuclear power, like he said. Iran has a right to ballistic missiles. They have a right to protect themselves. Why would they agree to this deal and make themselves a sitting duck? Not only that, get rid of a huge power source for a large part of the country. Are you high? Like, what the fuck? This is so fucking stupid. Another fucking war? Seriously? Another war in the Middle East? How long is this one going to go on for? How many people are going to die this time? Mind you, all of this is for Israel. There is no other reason for it. America has nukes. They're not worried about what the fuck is going on with Iran. Let's be real. And if they were, Trump would have wouldn't have fucking ripped up the Iran agreement that he did rip up in his fucking first term. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? All right, everybody, keep your eyes open. This is so fucking stupid. Like, keep an eye over this. Like, Jesus fuck. I guess the U.S. is going to war with Iran. Another more fucking death on on behalf of Israel. Your tax dollars are going to war, pay for wars, all because Israel wants them to. Mind you, Israel has healthcare, affordable, free secondary education, free college and university. You don't. Okay, so this morning, former Prince, disgraced Andrew Mountbatten-windsor was arrested. When I got this notification this morning that he was arrested, I was like, oh, yay. Somebody's finally getting arrested for being involved in this international sex trafficking ring of young girls, minor girls, children. So I open up the article and I come to realize that he's being arrested for sending state secrets to Epstein. Not for his misconduct, but for his misconduct in his position working for the English government. Like, of course. But, honestly, if you can get him on anything, get him on anything. I want... people need to start getting fucking arrested. This is absolutely fucking insane that we have only seen pretty much only the private sector people have been stepping down. Not the people involved in government. Not the people involved, the CEOs. It's people who work in the private sector. Kathy Rumler, Larry Summers, Tom Pritzker. There's a few more. But, none of the people who are actually named in the files or are actual, who are actually seemingly guilty have not faced any repercussions. The only people who have faced repercussions are dead. They killed themselves in prison the exact same way. Jeffrey Epstein and luc-brunel. So Andrew Mountbatten-windsor, who is still under investigation, was seen leaving police custody on Thursday evening after being detained on suspicions of misconduct in public office. Not sexual misconduct, like I said. Anyways, so let's go to what to know. What to know about Andrew Mountbatten-windsor's arrest. King Charles III's brother, who had already been stripped of his royal titles over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, was detained for several hours on Thursday on suspicions of misconduct in public office. And I want to say, fuck Elizabeth. I hate her for a multitude of reasons. Technically, she was our head of state in Canada, so I have a lot of reasons. Anyways, that's besides the point. Fuck her, especially for this. She didn't want to fucking, punish her son. Fuck you, bitch. You should have stripped him of his fucking titles years ago. When we found out when he was credibly accused by Virginia Giuffre of having sex with her, which would constitute sex trafficking. He was a patron of sex trafficking. And he was tied to this fucking international sex trafficking billionaire. pedophile. Like, of course you didn't have a fucking issue with that, you fucking old bitch. I don't like her. Sorry. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, the disgraced brother of King Charles III, who was until late last year known as Prince Andrew, was arrested by the British police on Thursday morning. Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor, who was stripped of his royal titles last year over his ties to the American... He was not a financier. He was not. He was not. He blackmailed people, sold state secrets, was a spy. He was not a financier. And convicted sex offender, that he was. Jeffrey Epstein. Prince Andrew was taken into custody by the authorities late Thursday evening. The BBC reported that he was seen leaving the police department. Charles said that he supported a full, fair, and proper process in the investigation. Well, I mean, like, good for you, I guess. I don't like him either, but... Why was Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor arrested? The British police have not released details on the specifics of the investigation, saying only that they had arrested a man on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Their statement did not name the man in accordance with British police rules. Yeah. It's like that in Canada too. Like, we don't get, even if you are like arrested on like rape and murder, you do not get your mugshot released. You not get your, I don't even get your name. Sometimes you get your names released, but there's a lot of privacy laws that America just does not have any of. It's weird. Previous reports indicate that Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor may have improperly shared confidential government documents with Mr. Epstein while he was served as a trade envoy for the British government from 2001 to 2011. The U.S. Justice Department recently released a tranche of documents colloquially known as the Epstein files. Those documents also included photos of Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor appearing to kneel over an unknown woman lying on a floor. Yeah, that was weird. Creepy. The photos came after years of controversy over damning details about Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor's alleged sexual abuse of a young woman trafficked to him by Mr. Epstein. Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor had steadfastly denied that he sexually assaulted the woman, Virginia Roberts Jeffrey, who also mysteriously died. She committed suicide, allegedly. Doubts about his account of his relationship with Mr. Epstein and details of his alleged sexual misconduct in a memoir by Miss Jeffrey, published posthumously last year, made his position in the royal family untenable. I mean, it should have been already untenable. It should have been untenable already. Like, years ago. Look at fucking Galen. She's such a fucking creeper fucking weirdo. Like, domineering fucking evil bitch. There was no mention in Thursday's police statement of any accusations of sexual abuse or trafficking. Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor was taken into custody after his arrest, but was released on Thursday evening and was photographed leaving a Norfolk police office in the back seat of a car. The Thames Valley Police said in a statement that the case remained under investigation. Okay. Under British law, the police generally cannot hold suspects for more than 24 hours without charging them. A court can only grant an extension application to hold them for a maximum of 96 hours. So why not charge him? Like, why aren't you charging him? I don't understand. Okay. If the police believe an offense has been committed, they send a file of evidence to the Crown Prosecution Service, which brings charges. If it thinks that there is a realistic prospect of conviction and that the case is in the public interest, the process can take several months, which I can attest you to. Here in Canada, we also have the Crown Prosecution Service. That is our legal system. We do not have, we are not prosecuted by the people like you are in America. We are prosecuted by the Crown. And our legal system is based off of theirs because technically we are a Commonwealth nation. So our head of state is technically Charles, even though it's pretty much just like a title, like ceremonial, but still, our system is based off of theirs. And Jesus fuck, is it long as hell. It takes years, months and months to years to get a actual charge or a case through. Like it's everything takes for fucking ever. If you think it takes long in America, it doesn't. Like it's crazy. The guidance to British prosecutors about the offence says that it is committed when a public officer willfully misconducts themselves in a way that abuses the public's trust, among other offences. A conviction would hinge on both the legal definition of a public officer and also willful. The offence carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment, which is the maximum sentence. It could be a lot lighter. There's no definition in British law of what a public officer is. Cases are assessed individually. Past prosecutions have included elected officials, government staff workers, and members of the armed forces. Well, a special envoy, I'm just like, yeah, that's a public officer, no? Also, you're a prince. You have a duty to your country. You're the prince, you bitch. The fuck? Mr. Mountbatten-windsor was the British government's trade envoy from 2001 to 2011. He was previously an officer in the Royal Navy, but no cases ever tested whether a member of the royal family could be considered a public officer. Well, he was not just a member of the royal family, he was the trade envoy for 10 years for the government, not the monarchy. So that's not this, like, he was not going around the world just talking to crowds and like shaking hands, doing like state visits. That's not what it was. He was actually doing work for the government. He was a trade envoy, doing trade deals. That's a lot of information that could be traded. If you know that a deal is going to be written, then you can use that information, tell your buddies, aka Jeffrey Epstein, the international sex trafficking pedophile spy who sold state secrets and blackmailed people. Like, you could very easily tell him, and then he could tell his Wall Street buddy, he could tell anybody. He could like cash in on it himself. It's so easy. It's like it's a position that is so, it would be so easy to commit insider trading in that position. Like, for an action to be willful, someone would have to have known for it to be wrong. Bitch, you knew it was wrong. You knew it was wrong. Or have had reckless indifference as to whether it is wrong or not, guidance to prosecutors says. Well, he knew. And he obviously didn't fucking care. This dude that he was wrapped up in with was clearly a fucking agent for some fucking. He seems like he was a freelance agent for like Israel, KGB, CIA, whatever. But like you were reckless even hanging out with him, the international sex trafficking pedophile, as well. Like you knew, like the fuck. Charles put out a statement on Thursday saying that the British authorities had our full and wholehearted support and cooperation. The law must take its course, he said, calling the investigative process full, fair, and proper. Well, damn. Statement comes after 15 years of the royal family's fighting to steer clear of the stink of Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor's friendship with Mr. Epstein. Two men's ties have forced the family into its most serious crisis since the death of the of Princess Diana. Love her, sorry. In 1997, the scandal has also dwarfed the tabloid storm over Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's public exit from the royal family. In 2022, Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor was forced to relinquish his military titles and royal charities shortly before he settled a lawsuit with Miss Jeffrey over her claims that he sexually abused her around 2001 while she was under 18. So, statutory rape. In late 2025, a memoir by Mr. Fay, who had died by suicide, allegedly, earlier in the year, offered more sordid details. As the public outcry grew, Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor was stripped of his royal titles. Finally, it was should have happened years ago at this point, way too fucking late. Just this month, he was evicted from his residence, the Royal Lodge in Windsor. He moved to a home personally owned by Charles on the grounds of Sandringham, a royal residence. Which is too good. He belongs in a fucking cell. Are we really questioning this? The fuck? So this goes into Andrew's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, which is this you're supposed to be a prince, dude. You're such a fucking creep. You're a fucking weirdo. Go to hell. So their relationship spanned decades. The association, which began in 1999, cost the former Prince Andrew his royal titles and status, and his reputation before his arrest. Not soon enough. An association with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein spanning more than 2 decades has cost Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor his royal titles and status, and shredded his reputation. Good. On Thursday, he suffered a new consequence: arrest over suspicion of misconduct while in public office. Here's a look at the history of their relationship. In 1999, according to Andrew, he first met Mr. Epstein through Ghislaine Maxwell, then the disgraced financier's girlfriend and well-connected Briton, and daughter of the media tycoon Robert Maxwell. That's important to know. Ghislaine Maxwell is elite, rich circles in Britain. So that is the top. She is very integral to this whole operation, and she should not be in no fucking fucking fluffy fucking prison with a puppy getting waited on hand and foot. She should be in maximum security. She's a rapist, a pedophile, sex trafficker. In 2000, Miss Maxwell and Mr. Epstein attended a party at Windsor Castle hosted by Queen Elizabeth II. What a stain. It's the royal family. They're not. Anyways, Queen Elizabeth II, you old crotchety cunt. Anyways, to celebrate the 40th birthday of Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor, then Prince Andrew. That was one of a number of documented meetings between Mr. Epstein and Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor, who served as a British trade envoy from 2001 to 2011. 2001-2002, according to claims later made by Virginia Jeffrey, Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor forced her to have sex with him. He has always denied claims of wrongdoing. In 2008, Mr. Epstein was jailed after pleading guilty in Florida to a charge of soliciting a minor for prostitution. He was released the next year but kept for a time under house arrest. Even when he was in prison, I'm pretty sure he had work furlough. He wasn't even. It was such a bullshit fucking plea deal. Fuck. Todd, who was it? Not Todd Blanche. Alexander Acosta. Fuck him. In 2010, Mountbatten-Windsor and Mr. Epstein were photographed walking in Central Park in New York City. Jesus Christ. 2 years after he was convicted for soliciting a minor for prostitution. The former prince later claimed the meeting was to end the friendship, and then he wanted to do so in person? What? You had to break up with him in person? You couldn't do it over the phone? Shut the fuck up. Shut up, you fucking liar. Also, we now have evidence that you did not break up with him, you jackass. In 2015, Ms. Jeffrey said in papers filed in Florida for a civil case that she was forced to have sex with the former prince on 3 occasions: in London, in New York, and on a private Caribbean island owned by Mr. Epstein between 2001 and 2002. Jesus. Including when she was 17, underage under Florida law. In 2019, Mr. Epstein was arrested in New York on sex trafficking charges and died in jail. Was murdered in jail. The medical examiner ruled his death a suicide. He was murdered. Later that year, Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor spoke to the BBC's Newsnight program, claiming he had no recollection of a photo being taken of him and Miss Giuffre, in which his arm is around her waist. The interview backfired, and within days, Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor announced he was stepping back from royal duties. Was that the one where he tried to say, like, I had the condition where I don't sweat, I couldn't have done it, and then a photo came out of him where he was literally like sweat stains, like down to like covered in sweat, drenched, like such an idiot. In 2021, Mr. Frey filed a civil case against the former prince that was settled the next year. In 2025, Mr. Frey died by suicide, allegedly. Her posthumous memoir portrayed Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor's behavior in a damning light. She already said that she was sex trafficked and forced to have sex with him 3 times when she was underage. That's the damning of the damning. Like, how much more damning can you get? Later that year, Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor said he would surrender the use of his title, the Duke of York, after discussing the matter with his elder brother, King Charles III. Earlier this year, he moved out of the mansion in Windsor. Like, fucking good. It should like, it's past time. Well due past time. In 2026, the most recent batch of documents released by the U.S. Department of Justice from the Epstein files included photos of Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor appearing to kneel over an unknown woman lying on the floor. The files also appear to show that while he was a trade envoy, he forwarded sensitive government documents and commercial information to Mr. Epstein. His arrest on Thursday came after accusations that Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor shared confidential information with Mr. Epstein while serving as a British trade envoy. And betrayed the fucking trust of the fucking people. Like, that's fucking insane. So, King Charles issues a striking statement after the arrest of his brother Andrew. You know, he's like, oh, thank God. I guess this overshadows me cheating with that old honky pussy bitch Camilla. Fuck it. I hate her. I hate them both. But, you know, he's just thinking to himself, at least it's not me this time. Monarch used clear and direct language in his first public comments after the former prince was detained over his links to Jeffrey Epstein. In his first public comments since the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor on Thursday, King Charles III was clear and direct. The statement was issued just hours after the police detained his brother over accusations of misconduct in public office in relation to his links with Jeffrey Epstein, convicted sex offender. The statement was striking because it addressed the British public directly, but also because it was signed by Charles personally instead of being issued by Buckingham Palace. Here is the King's statement in full. I have learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public office. What now follows is the full, fair, and proper process by which this issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. In this, as I have said before, they have our full and wholehearted support and cooperation. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment further on this matter. Meanwhile, my family and I will continue in our duty and service to you all. Charles R. Damn. And this is actually the first time a royal has been arrested in like 380 years, I believe. Almost 400, basically. And the last one, it was like one of the last King Charles. So, like, he's really just, whew, God, thank God it wasn't me. All right. Anyways, keep your eyes open. I'm gonna keep an eye out for this because ooh, he really looks rough there, like father, like son. Ooh, he looks like a corpse. You can be a terrible person, but you will age to the most terrible looking piece of rotting trash on the planet. God. Okay, so with the new release of the Epstein files, we are finding out that John luc-brunel, who was an accomplice to Jeffrey Epstein, he was one of the men who ran a modeling agency based off of Jeffrey Epstein's and Trump's modeling agency. Like, it was basically a way to traffic young girls who wanted to become models. Specifically, John luc-brunel would traffic a lot of girls from the former USSR states. They really exploited the dissolution of the USSR and uh, took advantage of the fact that a lot of those countries were in a lot of struggle at the time. There was a lot of economic issues, and there were a lot of people who wanted to go to America to get the American dream, and they heavily exploited that, uh, trafficking young girls, some as young as 14, who just wanted to go to America and for a better life. And they exploited that and exploited these young girls. There's such a it's fucking insidious. Just like there's so many layers to it. How depraved these fuckers are. Anyways, that is what John luc-brunel was doing for Jeffrey Epstein. He was also a rapist. Like he's not absolved of any fucking like sexual misconduct. He was a trafficker and a rapist, just like Jeffrey Epstein was, of young girls. Like, just absolutely fucking disgusting. So with this new tranche that just got released, like I said, we're finding out that John luc-brunel was cooperating with the Department of Justice back in like 2016, years before Jeffrey Epstein was arrested, and he didn't actually even cooperate. He just went silent at a certain point. He was going to cooperate and then went silent, ghosted them. So this whole fucking thing is shady as fuck. Why the fuck wasn't he arrested in like 2016 if you were investigating him in 2016? Jeffrey Epstein, mind you, was not arrested until 2019. What? Okay, it's just so fucking insane. And when this motherfucker, John luc-brunel, was finally charged in, I believe, 2020, he ended up dying in 2022 the exact same fucking way that Jeffrey Epstein died. So, this whole fucking thing has been rife with mysterious, fucking, suspicious deaths. And deaths. Not murders, according to the medical examiners. So anybody with ties to this fucking man, anybody with fucking knowledge that's been charged, take that with what you will. The accomplice who was going to testify against Jeffrey Epstein then went dark. French model scout Jean luc-brunel was negotiating to provide prosecutors with evidence against the sex offender in 2016, 3 years before he was finally arrested, but ultimately backed out. 3 years. 3 years. 3 years. Jean luc-brunel was ready to turn on the man who had been his patron and partner. The French modeling scout was prepared to tell prosecutors what he knew about Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking. Brunel was secretly negotiating in 2016 with lawyers representing Epstein's victims. 2016. According to newly released Justice Department files, Brunel's lawyers told them his client recruited girls for Jeffrey Epstein and had incriminating photographs. In 2016. Jesus fucking Christ. They discussed a date for Brunel to walk into the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York in exchange for immunity. One of Epstein's boyfriends that could just be like colloquial or like whatever. Like, I mean, it's just his notes. But I've watched a lot of documentaries on men like this. Men who are ultra wealthy or powerful or have some sort of influence or power that they can exploit people with. I'm talking about Hugh Hefner, R. Kelly, the list goes on and on. But a lot of these men ended up having relationships with other men. Take that with what you will. It gets to a certain point where, like, I don't know, like, you hate women so fucking much that you become homo romantic. It's very weird. And like R. Kelly had sexual relationships with men, seemingly homo romantic relationships with men. A lot of the people surrounding Hugh Hefner believe that he had homo romantic relationships with men and also had sexual relationships with men. But it's just a very weird uh, phenomenon, really. And I would not be surprised if there was some evidence of that, or if that were to come up, I don't think it would shock me. Like, there's speculation about him and Lex Wexner. There's this guy. He did have a lot of very sexual, sexually charged relationships with men. And there's that whole thing with Trump blowing Bubba. Like, I don't know. It's a very these this world of like sexual deviance is just so fucking weird. Like, weird. Weird as fuck, dude. Weird as fuck. One of Epstein's boyfriends, John luc-Brunel, has helped get his girls. He is wanting to cooperate, according to handwritten notes taken by a federal prosecutor in February 2016. Brunel is afraid of being prosecuted. And then Brunel went dark. So that's the handwritten note they were talking about. Epstein had discovered the negotiations with Brunel were taking place. Of course he did. The files show on May 3rd, he fired off an email to Kathy Rumler, an attorney he corresponded with regularly, who also worked for Obama, was an attorney for Obama while he was in the White House. Strange. He wrote that Brunel was planning to go to the U.S. Attorney's Office the following week and that one of Brunel's friends had asked for $3 million so that Jean-Luc would not go in. So the billionaire financier Jeffrey Epstein, bankrolled by some of the wealthiest men in the world, with damning evidence on some of the most wealthy men in the world, was asked for a measly $3 million? Girl, that's pocket change to a billionaire. Epstein told Rumler that Brunel was afraid he would be arrested if he didn't show up. I want to know more, Epstein wrote. He also dismissed Brunel's lawyer and his friend as scammers and cast doubt on their credibility. Rumler responded hours later, asking Epstein to call and explain. Of course, can't have it over writing. The next day, she wrote, "Awake now, talking to Poe in 20 minutes." Gregory Poe was Epstein's lawyer in Washington, D.C. It isn't clear from the documents why Brunel ultimately kept quiet. Because he got $3 million. What is clear is that Brunel didn't cooperate with prosecutors, and Epstein remained free for another 3 years until he was arrested in 2019. 3 years. He died in jail in New York. Yeah, sure. Died in jail in New York in what was ruled a suicide. And I saw a unicorn this morning. Like, after Brunel stopped negotiation, he was not arrested and prosecutors did not pursue him further. He said he has photographic evidence incriminating Jeffrey Epstein and other. Like, why was there no further investigation into this man who was going to cooperate and then mysteriously just stopped Like what what kind of clown show is going on at the DOJ? Like what are we doing? Brunel was a central figure in Epstein's orbit, who used his position atop a U.S. modeling agency to recruit foreign girls and young women, securing work visas and providing the appearance of a real employment. In reality, he was just trafficking them to be raped. The Frenchman traveled on Epstein's plane, visited his island, and exchanged hundreds of emails with him. Blech. The files also show that federal prosecutors in New York were briefed on Epstein's scheme in 2016. 2016. Handwritten notes detailed Epstein's trafficking operation and allegations that Brunel, Ghislaine Maxwell, and others recruited dozens of underage girls. Dozens! The Justice Department did not move on Epstein until after a Miami Herald investigation in the late 2018 brought new attention to Epstein's case. Thank God for Julie K. Brown. Like, you fucking kidding me? Like, what? When it did arrest Epstein in 2019, Brunel and Maxwell were named as co-conspirators in the FBI investigative file, the documents show. So why the fuck wasn't he arrested in 2019? Because he wasn't arrested in France until 2020. You could have arrested him. Like, the fuck? Stupid. Brunel was arrested in 2020 in France, where French prosecutors were investigating him on allegations of rape and supplying girls to Epstein. He died in jail in 2022. Maxwell was found guilty in 2021 and is serving a 20-year sentence, which is absolutely fucking bullshit. That woman deserves to rot in jail until she fucking dies. Like, why does she get like such? I don't understand this. Like, what are we doing? She was not only recruiting minors to be sex trafficked, but she was participating in the rape. She's a rapist. Like, there, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She participated in the rapes of minors and recruited them. She was like the woman to make them feel safe, and then she was the one who fucking stabbed them in the back. So she's a fucking evil bitch who deserves to rot in jail. Prosecutors in Paris on Saturday said that they would re-examine the case of Brunel and set up a special team to analyze evidence that could implicate French nationals in the Epstein case. Long before his role in the Epstein case came to light, Brunel had already had a sordid reputation in the fashion world. In 1998, CBS's 60 Minutes aired... God, sorry. Moment of silence for 60 Minutes and CBS. Damn. Fuck you, Barry Weiss. Fuck you, Larry Ellison. Fuck you, Zionists. Fuck all of you. Fuck Israel. Anyways, sorry, CBS's 60 Minutes aired an investigation into modeling agencies featuring women who said they were drugged by Brunel and expected to have sex with his male friends in order to get modeling work. Ugh. Gross. One woman said on camera that Brunel had drugged and raped her. No criminal charges were ever filed. The law isn't the law if you're rich. By the 2000s, Brunel and Epstein had forged a deep relationship. Flight logs show Brunel was a frequent passenger on Epstein's private jet starting around 2000. And there they are together, the two fucking creeps. Evil fucking cretins. Fuck you, troglodytes. In 2005, Epstein wired up to $1 million to Brunel to help him launch MC Squared Model Management, which opened office in New York and Miami later that year. The agency's name appeared to be an inside joke, with people believing that in the equation E equals MC squared, the E stood for Epstein. Okay? Behind the scenes, Epstein used the agency as a way to procure women and as a payroll vehicle, securing work visas for young women, the files show. A pair of emails from July 2006 captures the arrangement. On July 13th, Epstein wrote to Brunel at his MC squared address, instructing him to put a woman they were discussing on your payroll, specifying a $50,000 annual salary. Christ. Brunel asked whether Epstein wanted the woman to work scouting models, Ew. Epstein replied the next day, start salary as soon as possible. Epstein added that he would be in Paris the following week and could see her then. My God. Epstein was jailed in Florida in 2008 after pleading guilty to procuring a minor for prostitution. Brunel visited Epstein almost 70 times, according to jail logs. What on earth did you need to... Okay, keep in mind that jail phone calls are recorded because they're public record. So the only reason that you would need to visit that man 70 fucking times in the year, mind you, most people, like, family visits are usually like every week, once a week, like maybe every 2 weeks, once a month. Like, it's kind of, usually prisons are out of the way that you have to like actually go pretty far out of your way to get to them, and then it's a whole process. You have to get searched like 70 times in a year, and he had work furlough. Like, what? So clearly you had something urgent to talk about that you couldn't talk about on over the phone. Or you were so down bad that you needed to see, like, that's weird. You're weird. That's weird. That's weird. Even like, what are we doing? What we what? Why? Like, why? Why? After his Florida arrest in 2006, Epstein shifted his focus to women in their late teens and 20s from Europe and Russia, whom he could lure to the US and abuse. It's so fucking like, ugh. Just the like, even in Palm Beach, he exploited like he would go to the poor neighborhoods and try to exploit those girls. In Europe and Russia, like, he would try to exploit these girls because he was such a monster. Young girls from Europe and Russia, since they were dependent on him for visas, housing, and finances. So, like, slaves. That's slaves, pretty much. Sex slaves. He also pressured these women to share with him details about their interactions with other men. Honeypots. Brunel and Epstein were so close in 2012 that a version of Epstein's trust from that year listed Brunel as a beneficiary for as much as $5 million? What the fuck? According to a copy made public in the recent Justice Department. Why? Around that time, Brunel was fretting over a deposition of Maritza Vasquez, MC Square's former financial controller and bookkeeper. Vasquez had given a sworn statement in 2010 in a civil lawsuit filed by one of Epstein's victims. Vasquez described how models were placed in Epstein-controlled apartments and how visas were arranged for underage girls. Ugh. Brunel and Epstein also relied on a common recruiter, Daniel Syed. He was all over the fucking files. He was like, he needs to be fucking charged. Where the fuck is he? Who the fuck is he? Find him. Lock him up. The files show Syed, a European modeling scout, exchanged dozens of emails with Brunel and Epstein. Dozens. In one exchange, from July 2014, Syed informed Epstein that he had two girls from Sweden, a Slovakian, two French, and redacted the Russian, with whom you spoke. Like, Epstein said he would reimburse Syed for his expenses and said, please send me the details of the girls' names, etc. Syed compared his recruiting efforts to fishing. In this business, I feel like fishermen, sometime I cash quick, sometime no fish. No, those are human beings. Those are young girls, children, actually. They're not fish. You're sex trafficking young girls to be raped. God. He ended the message with a tally of his expenses for the trip, 2,700 euros. In December 2014, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of Epstein's most prominent victims, filed a motion to join a lawsuit that was challenging Epstein's non-prosecution agreement related to his earlier arrest in Florida. In one of the exhibits, she alleged that Brunel trafficked girls as young as 12 to his friends, including Epstein. So what now, Megyn Kelly? There's also a ton of evidence that I've seen a lot of redacted photos, and there was like very young children being abused. Eat shit, Megyn Kelly. You should apologize for that take. Anyways. The allegations placed Brunel in public crosshairs alongside Epstein. As a result, the relationship between Brunel and Epstein appeared to fray. So they say none of these fucking relationships between these fucking Epstein class billionaires, fucking elite fucking pedophiles ever actually they never actually break up. And they always like, oh, we stopped talking, I cut off contact with him. No, you fucking didn't. None of you did. Every time we get a release, it shows that nobody cut contact with him. Like, it's absolutely fucking insane. The rift between Epstein and Brunel was temporary. Jesus Christ. The recently released Justice Department files show. By April 2015, Brunel suggested a friend to mediate the dispute, and later that month, Epstein asked to meet Brunel. I have some ideas that I would think you will like, Epstein wrote. People, I hope hell is hot. Like, that's all I gotta say. Prosecutors' notes from February 29, 2016 revealed that the victim's lawyers briefed the prosecutors. Tone says his client has photographic evidence. According to the notes, Brunel does not want to implicate himself. On May 3rd, Pottinger wrote in an email to the prosecutor yesterday spoke of Daniel Syed, whom Jean-Luc Brunel describes as a scout or recruiter of girls and or women for Jeffrey Epstein. 2016. Why? Where the fuck is Daniel Syed? The only people that have been charged with this sex trafficking ring in America are Jeffrey Epstein, who was murdered in jail, and Ghislaine Maxwell, who is sitting in a fluffy fucking club-fed, low-security prison that sex offenders are not even allowed to be at. Serving a bullshit 20-year sentence. After the effort to get Brunel to testify failed, Epstein continued luring victims. Continued to lure victims. For 3 years. When Epstein was found dead in his jail cell in 2019, Brunel went into hiding. French authorities launched an investigation shortly thereafter, searching his home and offices. In December 2020, French police intercepted Brunel at a Paris airport as he attempted to board a flight to Senegal. Jesus Christ. He was really trying to go into hiding. He was taken into custody and charged with sex crimes. In February 2022, he was found hanged in his prison cell. The exact same way that Jeffrey Epstein was. Yeah. Also ruled a suicide. The rot in this shit, like, it goes fucking deep. And the fact that, like, we're now getting evidence that he was ready, like, he was willing to cooperate until their evidence shows that he asked Jeffrey Epstein for millions of dollars in order to stay silent. And he mysteriously just stayed silent. And then it took you 3 years. And the only, only after Julie K. Brown did her huge investigative reporting that exposed all this again. Like, what kind of clown show? The cover-up is so insane. Like, what the fuck? Like, all of the conspiracy theories are pretty much fucking true. Like, the world is being run by an elite cabal of pedophiles. They are. And it was a huge fucking... They were like... What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Why was there no investigation into this man? Where is Daniel Syed? Why the fuck was he not charged? Like, what are we doing? Why was Jean-Luc Brunel not investigated more and charged? Like, why did you just stop investigating him after he mysteriously stopped cooperating? Like, what are we? What? What? There was also another guy. I believe his name was Dan Casablancas or something like that, or maybe that's a character from Veronica Mars. I don't remember. I think his last name is Casablancas. He died from like cancer, I believe. Everybody around this case, even Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, he was like 85. So he died at a very inopportune time. So, but he was 85. So everybody around this, even Virginia Giuffre, the main accuser, the most prominent accuser, she died of suicide. And she's not the only victim who has. I have no words. Keep your eyes open, everybody. This is insane. It, at this point in time, we're gonna have to fucking keep on top of this shit because they're not. The DOJ is not. They're not investigating anybody. They're they're not doing anything. They're actively trying to protect the co-conspirators. Actually, so I just don't understand. Okay, so today the Supreme Court struck down Trump's tariffs, and then Trump had a temper tantrum and immediately said he was going to impose a global 10% tariff on everybody, even though they just said he couldn't do that. It was a whole, like, it was going back and forth the entire day. But the New York Times has an article out on it, and I would like to go over it with you because it's just obviously they were going to strike the order down. I mean, Trump did this through the what is called the International Executive Emergency Powers Act. There was no emergency. The emergency that he was predicating this on was the tariff, the trade deficits with other countries, that other countries were taking advantage of the United States trade deals. Like, that was an emergency. That's bullshit, you dumb fuck. So obviously, and he didn't get any congressional approval. That the way that he skirted congressional approval was going through the Emergency Powers Act, but there was no emergency. He needs congressional approval, and there's no reason for all these ridiculous tariffs. Like, all of his reasoning is ridiculous, and this has been like his like main fucking policy aside from like immigration. So him getting struck down, I knew it put a bee in his fucking bonnet. But the Supreme Court needs to toe the line on this. Like, they really need to hold the line. I'm surprised even that a few of them ruled against this, but they need to continue. And they need to continue with this track because so far they completely cucked themselves to Donald Trump, going on these fucking shadow dockets and making these ridiculous fucking rulings that you would never fucking make if you were not fucking completely fucking cucked to a fucking dipshit in a full face of makeup who has dementia, wearing diapers. Like, what? The complete and utter dismantling of the Supreme Court and the upholding the law is so fucking insane. Like, what? So this is one of the first times they've actually ruled against him, and they need to continue because they fucking even ruled in favor of racial profiling. Are you fucking kidding me? Have you ever heard of the Civil Rights Act? Maybe you should look it up. What? Maybe you should know that as a Supreme Court justice. But they do know that because they will do all of these rulings on a shadow docket in the middle of the fucking night and not tell anybody about it, not make a fucking big deal, and not set a precedent for the next president. So they are doing these with no fucking accountability, and there's no precedent that will be set for another, like, a Democratic president to do these similar things. It's a complete fucking shit show. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's no other way to put it. all these fucking Supreme Court justices, there's like 6 of them that are constantly siding with Trump. They are complete and utter fucking cucks. Or they're bought and paid for. Like Clarence Thomas. Bitch ass. Okay, so the Supreme Court's tariff ruling and Trump's immediate new levies add new uncertainty in global trade. The decision is a major setback for President Trump, who responded by imposing a 10% global tariff after lashing out at the justices who ruled against him. Of course he did, because he's an old temper tantrum having, whiny little bitch boy. Fucking hell. Trade deals his administration has struck with countries around the world are now in question. Supreme Court decision on Friday striking down President Trump's sweeping global tariffs dealt a major blow to his economic agenda and brought new uncertainty to global markets struggling to adapt to his whipsawing trade policies. That was compounded when he announced that he was imposing a new across-the-board 10% tariff. The court, in a 6-3 decision written by Chief Justice John G. Roberts Jr., ruled that Mr. Trump had exceeded his authority when he imposed tariffs on nearly every U.S. trading partner last year. The ruling prompted a defiant response from the president. In a news conference at the White House, Mr. Trump excoriated the justices who had ruled against him as fools and lapdogs. Damn, and foreshadowed the new tariffs he announced within hours to begin on Tuesday. So I think they have the video here. Watch.
Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom. The court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1. I can't charge $1. Can't charge $1. I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country-destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1.
Idiot.
Decision of the court. Because I understand the court. I understand how they are very easily swayed. I want to be a good boy. I have very effectively utilized tariffs over the past year to make America great again. All of those tariffs remain. They all remain. I don't know if you know that or not. They all remain. We're still getting them, and we will after the decision. I'm very good at reading language, and it read our way 100%, but now I'll go the way I could have gone originally.
Fucking loon. Jesus fucking Christ. Court's ruling threw into doubt a series of trade deals with countries around the world that the administration struck in recent months, and left unclear whether U.S. companies or consumers would be able to reclaim some of the more than $200 billion in fees. That's making America great again by charging your fucking citizens. Like, what the fuck? The federal government has collected since the start of last year. Justice Brett M. Kavanaugh warned in a dissent that any refund process could be a substantial mess. Just because something is hard doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. Like, oh, this is going to be a lot of work. We probably shouldn't. The fuck? No, do your job, asshole. You're a Supreme Court justice. The fuck? It'll be messy. Eat my ass, you little bitch. The ruling also appeared to create a $1 trillion hole in the federal budget because the tariffs that were upended had helped fill the gap caused by his income tax cut. On the ultra wealthy? What could we do there? Maybe tax the billionaires? It's such an easy solution. I saw a graphic today that all the richest men in the world, the richest corporations in America, paid like in total like 4% in taxes on average. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Mr. Trump was the first president to claim that the 1977 IEPA emergency statute, which does not mention the word tariffs, also allowed him to unilaterally impose the duties without congressional approval. Writing for the majority, Chief Justice Roberts said the statute did not. Clearly does not. The court's ruling, backed by justices from across the ideological spectrum, was a rare and significant example of the Supreme Court pushing back on Mr. Trump's agenda. Extremely rare. Like, they've completely, I've said it multiple times, but they have completely cucked themselves to him. There's no other, like, just completely bent the knee to this fascist who is pissing all over the Constitution, over every single fucking law. Like, it's so stupid. That's fucking stupid. It's worse than fucking stupid. It's treacherous. Like, these people are so fucking evil. Especially Kavanaugh, Thomas, and Alito, and those fucking, fuck them. A small but vocal group of Republicans in Congress joined Democrats in celebrating the court's ruling, reflecting frustration that their branch of government has ceded its authority over trade matters to the White House. Right, because it's Congress's job. They're supposed to be separate but co-equal branches of government. Donald Trump has pissed all over that. Senator Mitch McConnell, the Kentucky... Ew. Ew. He's not dead yet? Anyway, sorry. Senator Mitch McConnell, the Kentucky Republican and former longtime party leader, said the ruling left no room for doubt that Mr. Trump's circumventing of Congress was illegal. Damn. That corpse is more on with it than, like, oh my god. Here's what else to know. Trump's workaround. The ruling eliminated Mr. Trump's primary tool for imposing tariffs, but he moved to work around the court by imposing levies using other trade powers. He cited Section 122 of the 1974 Trade Act in setting the 10% tariff for Tuesday. He will never just take his L. He's such a little bitch. It's so fucking annoying. No president before him had invoked that provision. He also said he would use Section 301 of the Act to investigate other countries' unfair trade practices, possibly resulting in additional tariffs. Oh my god. This motherfucker. He thinks that a trade deficit just means that you bought more from that country than they bought from you. So it's really just a receipt of the things that you bought. Like, it is not unfair. Also, your country is humongous. You have 340 million people in the world. In your country. You're going to have a lot of trade deficits just by a natural, less of a need for the amount of fucking product that you would need to supply for 340 fucking million people. Canada only has like 40 million people. That's a big difference. Also, when we use tariffs correctly and use them how they are supposed to be used to protect our industries, we get labeled as using them unfairly. When it's exactly what you were trying to do right now. The fuck? Many of the trade agreements countries struck with the United States set tariffs at around 15% or 20%, lowering what would have been steeper duties in exchange for favorable trade concessions and promises to invest in the United States. Did we see any trade deals in writing, though? I don't believe we did. I've yet to see one. Trade deals are contracts that you see in writing with terms, and then people sign at the bottom. I haven't seen any. On Friday, Mr. Trump said that some of the agreements would stand, but did not elaborate. Okay. The administration may have to refund more than $100 billion in tariff revenue to thousands of American importers, a head-spinning process unparalleled in scale and complexity that could take months or even years. Fools and lapdogs. Jesus Christ. Fools and lapdogs. Reading from prepared remarks, Mr. Trump assailed the 6 Supreme Court justices ruled against him, some of whom he had nominated, accusing them of being disloyal to the Constitution. Motherfucker! You have been disloyal to the First Amendment! What the fuck? You even disrespected the Second Amendment. Said, oh, Alex probably shouldn't have had a gun. What? I thought you were the guns party. What? He had a legal permit to carry a concealed firearm. He did everything correctly by your rules. You are the one who doesn't want gun control. And you're going to blame him for having a gun? Jesus fucking Christ. Also, the Fourth Amendment has to do with unlawful search and seizure. Go on social media for 5 fucking seconds, and I'm sure you'll see a video of somebody getting kidnapped off the street by Gestapo jackboot fucking thugs in masks, pretending that they're fucking law enforcement when they're fucking kidnapping people and abducting people for paper violations. Like, it's insane. The fuck? Justices Brett M. Kavanaugh, Clarence Thomas, and Samuel A. Alito Jr. wrote that the president should be able to impose tariffs. Okay, your opinion is not important here. Your opinion on what should be able to happen within the law is not important here. It is your understanding of the current law that is set in place. Like, what are these ideological judges? The fuck? It makes no fucking sense to me. Under the power to conduct foreign affairs, and they warned the court's decision would cause chaos as importers sought refunds. Oh, just because it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a mess. You shouldn't do it. That's not the question, bitch. Is it legal or not? Were you maliciously charging people illegally? Your own fucking citizens, mind you, while lying to their fucking face and telling them they're not going to pay the tariffs when clearly they are. It's such an idiotic thing. Like, I'm a Canadian. You impose tariffs on Canada. Those are taxes on imports. I don't import things into the US as a Canadian. What usage would I get out of that? There's not a huge amount of Canadian brands in America. So like it's really, we're not importing much to America at all. It's you who will be paying for the import of our goods that we're selling to you. Over the course of President Trump's second term, the conservative majority of the Supreme Court has sided with the president on key issues in most cases, often without explaining why exactly. But on Friday, Trump repeatedly attacked the conservative justices who voted against him on tariffs as disloyal. I actually pulled up his Truth Social posts, so let's go read those. Okay, so this fucking old, senile, dementia-ridden, diaper-wearing, full face of makeup, ugly ass, obese motherfucker cannot help but have a temper tantrum. Everybody has a slight disagreement with him. He is such a whiny little bitch. So here he goes. Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing. I am ashamed of certain members of the court for not having the courage to do what is right for our country. What an asshole. I would like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for your strength, wisdom, and love of our country. They don't love the country. They've been disrespecting the country and the Constitution. All to bend the knee to you. They love you. Which is right now very proud of. The country is not very proud of them. We all hate. I'm not American, but everybody fucking hates Clarence Thomas. The fuck? when you read the dissenting opinions, there is no way that anyone can argue against. I can argue against every single line, actually. What the fuck are you talking about? Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. No, bitch, you're so stupid. And dancing in the street. Girl, I got the notification this morning on my phone, put it down, and rolled back over. Looked for my vape. Like, it was not a. Girl, nobody cared. Like, the tariffs did not affect me at all. At all. Seriously. Nothing I pay for went up. Not a single thing. The grocery store prices have not really gone up. We're doing just fine, really. Like, it wasn't a big deal. Like, you were, like I said, it's a tax on imports. You were punishing your own citizens. They should be cheering. The fuck? But honestly, you shouldn't actually, because these corporations are not going to reduce their prices now, and you don't have a government that cares about you or cares about reducing costs. So they're not going, like, it's just all of those prices that were increased because of tariffs and everything, they will continue to stay that way. Because corporations are what matters to this administration, and I'm honestly to a large part of the Democratic Party as well. But they won't be dancing for long. What a bitch. You can't even dance. You can't even walk in a straight line, you fat ass. The fuck are you talking about? The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no against anything that makes America strong and healthy again. What the fuck are you talking about? You literally have been dysregulating the Environmental Protection Agency like nonstop for the past like week or two. Making like poisonous things legal. Like you were such a fucking liar. The fuck are you talking about? They're also a disgrace to our look in a mirror. My God, have you recently, by the way? You look like shit. Like you look really bad. Really bad. You looked bad when you were like in the office the first time. And now you look 100 times worse. I didn't think you could look worse than you. And you broke your own record of ugliness. You look like shit, dude. The fuck? Steaming hot garbage. You look like trash, rotting from the inside out. Others think they're being politically correct. No, 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 no. Political, no, no. These are judges. They should not be partisan. They should be upholding the law to the last fucking letter. Like, what are we doing? They're officers of the court. That is their job. Their job is not to have these political fucking opinions. They are there to uphold the law to the fucking letter. Like, what? Which has happened before far too oh my God, with certain members of this court, when in fact they are just fools and lapdogs for the rhinos, the, what's it called? Republican in name only. And radical left, oh my God. The radical left Democrats. And not that this should have anything to do with it, very unpatriotic and disloyal to the Constitution. I've already went over it, but you break a new amendment every other week. Like, you're such a bitch. Shut the fuck up. It is my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interests, and oh my God, are you serious? And a political movement that is far smaller than people would think, but obnoxious, ignorant, and loud. Mind you, he writes a blank check to fucking Benjamin Netanyahu, supports every fucking decision that Israel does, and is about to go to war for Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel. I made a video about it the other day. There is no other reason besides Israel wants us to. And all the deals that they're trying to make have these ridiculous fucking demands that Israel wants that nobody in their fucking right minds would agree to. They want Iran to fucking get rid of all of their ballistic missiles that could reach Israel. Do you like that would isolate their ballistic capability to like basically right around their country. It would be like turning yourself into a sitting duck. You are completely bought and paid for by Israel and fucking Russia. Like you invited a war criminal, multiple war criminals. Benjamin Netanyahu's a war criminal. Putin is a war criminal. He should have been arrested when he was on American soil. You had the army on their fucking knees, rolling a red carpet down for him, clapping like a fucking seal. Like you were such a little bitch. You are swayed by foreign interests. You are completely owned by foreign interests. The fuck are you talking about? You're completely compromised. Not to mention the fucking Epstein files, where we have seen that you are compromised by seemingly Russia, Israel, and God knows who. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Court has been swayed by foreign interest and a political movement that is far smaller than people would think, but obnoxious, ignorant, and loud. Again, telling yourself, like, it's all projection. That's the political movement that is far smaller than people would think is mega because they're really obnoxious, ignorant, and loud online. But when you go out into the real world, nobody feels as the way that all these fucking people do online. Like, they're very concentrated and they're boosted because these algorithms are being set by fucking Elon Musk and Sundar Pichai and fucking Mark Zuckerberg and all these fucking oligarchs that are 10 toes down for this fucking fascist authoritarian regime. It's insane. This was an important case to me more as a symbol of economic and national security than. Oh my God. These trade deals, they're threatening security of the nation. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? National security? What? Oh no, they're charging us too much for rice. We gotta. It's a national emergency. It's a threat to our national security. Like what? 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 Like the good news is that there are methods, practices, statutes, and other authorities, as recognized by the entire court and Congress, that are even stronger than the IEEPA tariffs. Available to me as President of the United States of America, and in actuality, I was very modest in my. He's really gonna play this game of like, wow, I wasn't really asking for much. Now I'm gonna do worse. Like, he's such a bitch. In my ask of other countries and businesses because I wanted to do nothing that could sway the decision that has been rendered by the court. So, wait, what? What the fuck are you talking about? You put so much pressure on the court. And are you saying that now you're going to do more? Like, what? As if you didn't before? What? This demented old queen. It is. Oh my God. Just a monster. I have very effectively utilized tariffs over the past year to make America great again. Okay. Our stock market, oh my God. Our stock market has just recently broken the 50,000. We know. We know. We know. The 50,000 mark on the Dow, we know. And simultaneously 7,000 on the S&P, two numbers that everybody thought upon our landslide election victory could not be attained until the very end of my administration. 4 years. Who uses M dashes? It makes me feel like is this AI? I just noticed that he used them up here too. This is what? Are you what? Do they have like an AI bot set up in his speech pattern? Also, there is this group of companies called like Magnificent Seven, and most of them are AI companies, like OpenAI, Nvidia. There's a few more, but there's like five more. But if you remove them from the stock market, because they have just been trading back and forth to each other, if you remove them from the stock market, it fucking sucks. They pretty much are the entire stock market. And it's a huge AI bubble that has yet to produce anything extremely profitable to which they said it would be. So the stock market is not in a good place. It truly is not. Plus, the stock market is really just fake. Like, it doesn't fucking matter anyways. So if you look at the average person in America, they are fucking struggling. If you look online and you will see people posting about how they can't afford their groceries, they can't afford their rent, they're selling plasma in order to afford groceries, they're selling like, it's insane what's going on in America right now. People are paying rent with buy now, pay later programs. Like, people bought a majority of their Christmas gifts with Klarna, which is a buy now, pay later program. It's insane the levels of economic struggle Americans are facing right now. And to say, like, to play in their fucking face talking about the Dow, the Dow is at 50,000 and the S&P is at 7,000. Like, the nobody, the average American does not have a 401k. That's just the truth of the matter. The average working class American does not have one. So when you're saying these things, it means nothing to a majority of Americans. Nothing. Because that has nothing to do with the fact that when they go to the grocery store, they cannot afford the food that they used to be able to afford. Or it's gone up double in price. So we can go to the next one. To show you how ridiculous the opinion is, the court said that I am not allowed to charge even $1 to any country under IEPA. I assume to protect other countries. What? I assume to protect other countries, not the United States, which they should be interested in protecting. They're. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Fuck. What a creep. What a weirdo. Okay. Jesus Christ. He's a fucking social media addict. Somebody take that motherfucker's phone away. Anyways, which they should be interested in protecting. They're they're interested in upholding the law. They're judges. They're not the Secretary of Defense. They're not like the Trade and Commerce Secretary. No, they're upholding the letter of the law. If you want to change the law, then you can do that. You can write a bill into effect and try to change it, get congressional approval, get the Senate approval. If you want to do things, you can do it the right way. Like, it's the fact that you did this illegally is the problem. But I am allowed to another M dash. I'm allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country, even imposing a foreign country destroying embargo, and do anything else I want to do to them. How nonsensical is that? I mean, you're not gonna get in any argument with me there. They are saying that I have the absolute right to license, but not to the right to charge a license fee. What license has ever been issued without the right to charge a fee? But now the court has given me the unquestioned right to ban all sorts of things from coming into our country, a much more powerful right than many people thought we had. Our country is the girl. We are all trying to find a way to get away from you as fast as we can. Like, you are not the hottest in the world. Hottest maybe because your democracy is on fire, constitution's on fire. Like, what? There, you are not the hottest anywhere in the world. You're not. You just aren't. We are all trying to push away from you. We want to cut off trade with you. We want to drop our reserves of the US dollars. We want to get away from you. Where a lot of us are pushing more towards China and other middle powers. We do not want to rely on you anymore. And the only people telling you that your country is doing well are the people that are so fucking scared of what you might do to their country that they are bending the knee and tucking themselves to you even though they hate you. But now I'm going in a different direction, which is even stronger than our original choice. As Justice Kavanaugh wrote in his dissent, although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. That is because numerous other federal statutes authorize the president to impose tariffs and might justify most, if not all, of the tariffs issued in this case. Those statutes include, for example, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, Justice Kavanaugh. So he basically was like, I don't agree with them, but hey, Trump, here is how you should go about it. A piece of shit. In actuality, while I am sure they did not mean to do so, what? The Supreme Court's decision today made a president's ability to both regulate trade and impose tariffs more powerful and crystal clear, rather than less. No, they just explained to you how to do it legally. What? There will no longer be any doubt, and the income coming in and the protection of our companies and country will actually increase because of this decision. Based on longstanding law and hundreds of victories to the contrary, the Supreme Court did not overrule tariffs. They merely overruled a particular use of IEEPA tariffs, the ability to block, embargo, restrict, license, or impose any other condition on a foreign country's ability to conduct trade with the United States under IEEPA, has been fully confirmed by this decision. In order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past under the various other tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs, Section 232, and existing Section 301 tariffs remain in place and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged, and we are initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices. Thank you for this. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. President Donald J. Trump. What a load of bullshit, dude. Like, he just will not give up. Like, nobody wants these tariffs. Literally nobody. I don't even think most Republicans want these tariffs. It's so stupid. Okay, so what else did he say? These posting just randomly post. Like, what the fuck is this? Okay. It is my great honor to have just signed from the Oval Office a global 10% tariff on all countries, which will be effective almost immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Those members of the Supreme Court who voted against our very acceptable and proper method of tariffs should be ashamed of themselves. Jesus. Their decision was ridiculous, but now the adjustment process begins, and we will do everything possible to take in even more money than we were taking in before. I really think this is AI because it's a lot more coherent than he usually is, but is in his speech pattern, which makes me believe that they have like a Donald Trump bot. There's also M dashes, which is very AI thing to do. What happened today with the two United States Supreme Court justices that I appointed against great opposition near Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett? Ugh. Whether people like it or not, never seems to happen with them. What? They vote against, seems to happen with Democrats. They vote against the Republicans and never against themselves almost every single time, no matter how good a case we have. At least I didn't appoint Roberts, who led the effort to allow foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years to continue to do so. But we won't let it happen. The new tariffs, totally tested and accepted as law, are on their way. President Donald J. Trump. Republicans are so disloyal to themselves. Unite, stick together, and win. President DJT. Okay. And then the White House put it. What is that? Sign up for the news and updates from the Trump White House. Your email? No. Why is he pointing at? No. Okay. So, was not there before. The fact sheet, President Donald J. Trump opposes a temporary import duty to address fundamental international payment problems. So they just basically go into just the legal justification of everything and provide a little bit more detail. But just fucking ridiculous. Like, he's such a fucking whiny bitch. Like, look at how long this shit is. Are you fucking kidding me? Also, it was a dumb fucking policy from the fucking beginning. Like, you misunderstood trade policy and then we're punishing everybody based on your misunderstanding of this policy. Like, every time you talk about the tariffs, it's so clear that you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Except for right now, which makes me believe, again, this is AI. And I think it is. Especially because you love AI. Oh, bye. Especially because he loves AI. So, I don't know, man. This is all so fucking stupid. Like I said already before, most of us around the world have not been affected by these tariffs. Like I said, they are imports on taxes. American companies import things into the United States. What Trump is betting on is that they will, instead of importing, they will want to bring production onshore. That takes years. That would take years and years and years and a lot of money for all of those companies to completely change their base of operations and go from a completely different country across the world to this one with completely different labor laws, all this fucking nonsense. So in reality, these corporations are not going to just eat the cost. They're not going to onshore these production companies. They're not going to bring their production onshore. So what are they going to do? What they always do when there is some sort of cost that becomes too much. Put it on the consumers. It's what they've always fucking done. And the fact that he thinks that will not happen is honestly just ignorant, stupid, dishonest, I don't even think he's thought this through at all. I think he's just a demented old fool. But like I said, these companies are just going to place these costs on the consumers. It's what they always have done. It's what they always will do, unless there is some sort of regulation or bill signed into place that would prevent them from doing so. But like, obviously, Trump's not going to do that, and in the meantime, Americans are just going to have to suffer. It's this like self-induced punishment. All right, everybody, keep your eyes open. Have a good night.